Well, I guess the story of Dragon Ball just got a lot crazier. Hey guys, DB right here, and today I am continuing with What If Bardock Was Sent to Earth Part 2. And I know this one's been requested quite a bit on the channel. It's just, had other ideas and other requests that I was doing and stuff. And I needed time to plan out the next part of the story. And, well, this story began with a Bardock who was just a child himself here. He had joined the military and began showing signs that he could be a true Saiyan prodigy, have his own squad someday, and possibly become an elite member of the Cold Force at the time. Frieza hasn't taken over the Empire yet. And, well, unfortunately for Bardock, that history and future is changed forever when one day his father, who basically was in charge of maintaining the space pods, making sure they had the proper maintenance, all that jibber jabber, well, Bardock had decided to take a bit of a nap in one of the space pods, and well, his tail sort of hit the launch key and punched these random coordinates in, and basically sent Bardock off to Earth, where he is found by a younger Master Gohan. Can't really call him Grandpa Gohan yet. He's more or less still in his prime, and well, with Bardock's current power level and what he is, he's more or less, what, over the 1,000 mark, something like that, I think I said. Well, needless to say, Bardock was by far the strongest and most beast of a thing on planet Earth at this point. However, Gohan did decide to more or less take Bardock in. It was just, well, kid had nowhere to go, and it was, obvious after Bardock assured him, after he told him what he is, who he is, where he's from, he did assure the young martial arts master that he wasn't there to conquer the planet. He's not a threat to the planet. He's just stranded there with no way out, and because, well, his space pod flight system was damaged upon landing. After all, in the last part, I did previously say that the space pod was a malfunctioning one. So what Bardock was doing, taking a nap in there, we will never know. Honestly, you'd think the son of a mechanic would know better. Anyways, so with that, Bardock more or less took the kid in, and well, he didn't really raise him like as a son or anything like that. They were more like buddies. More like buddies. It was more like a older brother, kid brother kind of relationship. And sometimes Bardock would blow the fuse and attempt to destroy something, and Gohan would tell him not to do that. And well, when it became evident that there are beings on Earth that have potentially strong power levels and certainly know how to fight and know how to identify an opponent's weakness, as Bardock kind of found out the hard way when Grandpa Gohan incapacitated him, it was in his best influence to learn these martial arts, learn how to sense energy, raise their power level, and work on conditioning his tail so no one grabs it again and knocks the kid out. And this would all grow to make Bardock a better and efficient fighter. And throughout his training, even though mostly quickly outclassing Gohan, he would have to basically train on his own as best as he can, training hard and just doing whatever he can to raise his power level stronger. After all, there may come a time he might be able to get off-world and go back and join his people. He doesn't know. However, this is when Bulma turns up, when Bardock has just hit his adulthood, just to clear, so we're right around where Bulma appears in the original. And well, because Grandpa Gohan knows Bardock's a Saiyan, and Bardock told him about the full moon and everything like that, Grandpa Gohan is still alive. Just to point out. And well, with Bulma revealing to Grandpa Gohan and Bardock the legends of the Dragon Balls and what they can do, this did get Bardock more or less interested, and he actually wanted to accompany Bulma on this trip. She's a young girl, there are dinosaurs, wolves, all sorts of hungry beasts out there. Yeah, she's gonna need some help if she's really serious about finding Dragon Balls. And this might actually give Bardock the opportunity to go home. And well, so with that, Bardock agrees to accompany Bulma on this trip, and well, over the years, Bardock has more or less begun to mellow out a lot more. He behaves more like a human being than he does a Saiyan these days. Oh, mind you still wouldn't want to mess with him or anything like that. He's a formidable fighter after all. And yeah, but still, just because he acts more like a person doesn't mean he pulls his punches much. And well, it eventually led to Bardock helping Turtle just like his son does in the original, except that Bardock really doesn't take Bulma's crap, which is kind of leads to some humorous conversations. You know what, woman? I really don't have to take this crap. Have fun finding your Dragon Balls on your own. Fine, I don't need you. Go ahead and go. Rampaging dinosaurs later. Bardock, wait! So you can imagine the comedy there. So with Turtle help, this would mean that Bardock and Bulma meet the Turtle Hermit Master Roshi, and Bardock going, yeah, I've heard about you. You trained Master Gohan, is that right? What? Gohan? You're no Gohan? Yes, he, well, I met him a long time ago. He kinda took me in and taught me about the world. Well, that's Gohan for you. Always try to do the right thing. You kinda look like you could handle yourself there. You know, if you're interested in learning some more martial arts, feel free to visit the island sometime. Of course, if you bring the cute one along. Bulma overhearing that whacks him one, but just like in the original, he does hand over the Dragon Ball. Does he try to give them the flying Nimbus? Yes. And guess what? None of them can ride it, so Roshi doesn't have to part with it. But Bardock still is a Saiyan by nature, and there are times he wishes he could be with his people and conquering planets. You know, that's just part of who he is. So the Nimbus is not going to allow him to fly on by and to ride it, is what I'm getting at. So with that, the adventure continues with them meeting Oolong, and well, Bulma did try to get Bardock to dress up like a woman, but nah, that wasn't happening. Do you really think I'd make a convincing woman? Bad news, Bulma. You're taking one for the team. And he basically forces her into that disguise, which looks ridiculous. And well, mind you, it's not like she really needed a disguise, really, because Oolong was more or less falling for her anyway. So yeah, I guess we don't really need the disguise. Yep, lose the disguise. Anyway, so bottom line is Bulma's taking one for the team, and because there was no Goku there to mess it up, Bardock was able to easily track them to Oolong's hiding spot and more or less barges in there, powering up, and Oolong more or less ends up revealing himself to be a pig, and yeah, he's screwed. He can't even run away at this point. Unfortunately, his time limit to transform has run out. And with that, his plan is ultimately foiled, and he's making them take the girls he had abducted back, because all they want to do is slack off, have fun, and not do anything. And, well, ultimately, Bulma, realizing Oolong's shapeshifting powers could come in handy, he's ultimately forced to join Bardock and Bulma on their adventure. And, well, this leads to them eventually getting lost in the desert. And, well, even though with the dino caps down and out, Bardock can easily just grab the two and fly off with them. But before he can really do that, they're being ambushed by Yamcha and Puar. And, oh Yamcha, if you thought messing with Goku was a bad idea, you're messing with his father this time. Or in this case, could have been father. After all, we're past the time where he is born now, and Planet Vegeta has since been destroyed. Not that Bardock knows that yet. Anyway, so with that, what was I saying? Oh yeah, so with that, Yamcha tries to challenge Bardock, but he cannot even land a hit on Bardock. Bardock's just sort of smirking and dodging, and he's just more or less playing around with the young bandit. After all, this is the first fighter since Gohan who has really showed him any promise. Well, there's Master Roshi as well, but they didn't have any sparring session or anything like that. So Bardock was more or less taking his time and making sport of Yamcha. You know, Yamcha, is it? You're actually not that bad. If you actually found yourself a proper teacher and actually learned how to fight, you actually could pose a threat in about 50 years. What? Why, you? Wolf Fang Fist! Woo! And Yamcha's basically knocked down flat. He's not quite knocked out, but this is when he's drawing his sword. All right, now I'm gonna get serious. And then Bulma wakes up from her nap, and Yamcha basically freezes in his tracks, and Puar has to take him away. And well, after the ordeal, and as it turns out, Puar had a little caravan capsule, they decide to camp out the night. It was getting late now anyway. And well, if anyone was going to try anything, you know, Bardock could send Yamcha packing, no problem. And well, just like in the original, the same escapades happens like in the original. Oolong trying to drug Bulma and Bardock in this case and make off with the Dragon Balls, while Puar transforms into Goku to try to lure Bulma out of there, but ends up luring Oolong out of there. And yeah, Yamcha has that little escapade, you know, looking under the covers where the real Bulma happens to be sleeping. And well, with that, the next day they all try to leave, and Yamcha appears once again with his bazooka and levels out the destroys the caravan. And well, Bardock and Yamcha have their rematch, and that pretty much ends the same way it does before, Yamcha losing his tooth, and Bardock's going, haven't you learnt your lesson yet? And well, he actually scares him off with a bit of a ki blast this time, and he runs off. He's like, like I said, with a bit of training, he could actually pose a threat someday. After all, Bardock is the type to acknowledge his opponent's strength. And so, with that, Bardock is considering, you know, just grabbing the two and flying off, when Yamcha realizes he could just give him a car that he puts a homing signal in, and they can take them to the Dragon Balls, and then he can steal them all from under their noses and get his wish to never be shy around women again. And, well, so with that, he goes, oh, I'm sorry about all the confusion, all times I tried to like kill you and all. Here's a reward for defeating me. You need it more than I do. And well, it's a new car, and well, they just sort of go with it. But Bardock is looking at Yamcha a bit suspiciously. But ultimately, they're all off on their way. Bulma finally wakes up after being knocked out from the explosion in the caravan, which yeah, just knocked her out. And they're on their way towards their next adventure, which is more or less dealing with the whole Monster Carrot escapade, which pretty much happens like it does in the original, with Yamcha ultimately teaming up with Bardock to deal with Monster Carrot. And yeah, as we know, Monster Carrot does not like getting hit by the power pole. And yes, and if I didn't establish that before, Bardock does have Gohan's power pole and does know how to use it. And well, with this whole thing doing good, liberating this whole village from Monster Carrot's tyranny, this good feeling of helping others is beginning to rub off on Bardock quite a bit. And well, with that, they are on their way to Emperor Pilaf when they're suddenly ambushed by Shu in a mech suit. Their car destroyed, Yamcha and Pua tagging along, and the Dragon Balls are stolen. And well, I think that's actually where we're going to leave things for right now. So what do you guys think? Did you enjoy this part 2? Do we like having Bardock joining the tale of Dragon Ball? The tale of Dragon Ball will be told with Bardock instead of Goku. Personally, I think it's a lot of fun, yeah. And well, let me know in the comments, and of course don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And yeah, we'll be back again next time with another What If. Alright guys, catch you later.